Have you ever wondered if your avoidant ex still thinks about you? They may always appear cold, composed, or even distant, but what's really going on in their mind? There are subtle, even contradictory signs that reveal they might be missing you, they just never admit it. In today's video, we'll decode the complex psychology of avoidant individuals and identify the behaviors they unintentionally exhibit when they still have feelings for you. If you're curious to know whether they truly think about you, stay tuned until the end of the video. The answer might change the way you view this relationship. Don't forget to hit subscribe to make sure you never miss content that helps you understand psychology, heal yourself, and build better relationships. Let's get started. First, when does an avoidant partner start missing you? People with an avoidant attachment style rarely express their emotions openly, and their sense of longing typically doesn't arise immediately after a breakup. Instead, they experience a delayed grieving process, a complex yet predictable pattern if you understand their psychology. Typically, avoidants begin to feel the pangs of missing you around 4 to 6 weeks post-breakup, sometimes taking up to 3 months. During this period, they need enough distance to ease their fear of vulnerability and the pressures of emotional closeness. Only when these concerns fade can they confront their true feelings. The reason they don't miss you right away is their remarkable ability to suppress emotions. Instead of facing the pain of loss, they often numb themselves through activities like excessive gaming, binge-watching TV, or even relying on alcohol and stimulants. However, these coping mechanisms are only temporary and fail to fill the emotional void within them. As time passes, they can't avoid their feelings forever. Loneliness starts to creep in, forcing them to face their sense of loss. This becomes even more apparent when they struggle to build a new relationship to replace you, as their reluctance to open up and trust others makes it incredibly challenging to form new connections. So the answer to the question, when will they miss you, is when they've had enough time and space to process their emotions. In those lonely moments, they begin to reflect and recognize the value of the relationship they once took for granted or avoided. Their longing doesn't manifest instantly or loudly, but when it does, it is often deep and enduring. When their feelings of longing resurface, they may attempt to reconnect, starting with subtle actions like accidentally appearing at places you frequent, sending probing messages, or even expressing a desire to reconcile. If you're curious about how they might express this longing, stay tuned for the next section, where we'll explore the most telling signs. Sign 1. Hovering behavior. People with an avoidant attachment style rarely express their emotions directly, but that doesn't mean they don't miss you. Instead, they exhibit a characteristic behavior I call hovering. This is how they maintain a connection with you without confronting their feelings directly, as excessive closeness makes them feel unsafe. This hovering behavior can manifest in 2 forms: physical proximity and emotional proximity. Physically, they may accidentally show up at places they know you frequent, such as your favorite coffee shop, gym, or events you usually attend. They try to stay close to you but maintain enough distance to retreat if they feel vulnerable. Emotionally, they may try to keep tabs on you indirectly, such as checking your social media, asking mutual friends or family members about you, or sending probing messages that seem casual. The contradiction here is that they want to be close to you but fear being hurt, so they never get too close or let you drift too far away. To recognize this hovering behavior, ask yourself, is there any reasonable explanation for their actions? If they frequently appear at your usual spots without a clear reason or constantly find indirect ways to stay in touch, it's their subtle way of letting you know you're still on their mind. Sign 2. Pushing and pulling behavior. When avoidants miss you, their emotions aren't simple or straightforward. Instead, they fall into an internal conflict that manifests as pushing and pulling behavior. This isn't just a natural reaction to missing someone. It's also the clearest sign of their fear and desire to connect. One day, you receive an unexpected message: "How have you been? I miss you." You feel surprised, excited, and hopeful that they might want to reconcile. They may continue chatting, reminiscing about happy memories, or even suggest meeting up. You feel the distance closing, and it seems like things might return to how they were. But then, as soon as you respond openly, they withdraw. They become distant, reply briefly, or disappear without explanation. From hope, you're thrown into confusion and disappointment. This is the essence of pushing and pulling, a painful cycle that reflects their struggle with their fear of attachment. This behavior isn't a deliberate game to hurt you, but rather a reflection of their internal battle. One part of them craves love, while the other fears losing freedom and safety. They don't know how to balance closeness and distance, unknowingly pulling you in only to push you away. Don't let this cycle control your emotions. By maintaining stability and clarity in your actions, you show them that pushing and pulling isn't the way to keep you in their life. Sign 3. False disinterest. Avoidants often try to appear as though you're no longer on their mind. They may tell friends they've moved on, post cheerful photos, or create the impression they're thriving without you. But don't be fooled by this facade. Look closely, and you'll notice subtle signs. They might quietly check your social media, ask about you through mutual acquaintances, or accidentally show up at places you frequent. This behavior stems from deep-seated fear. They worry that showing interest might cost them control or make them vulnerable. By feigning disinterest, they try to protect themselves emotionally, but in reality, it reveals their internal confusion and unspoken longing. If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't linger in your life in any form. This false disinterest, coupled with small actions like checking up on you or maintaining minimal contact, signals that you still hold a significant place in their heart more than they'd like to admit. Sign 4. Actions speak louder than words. Like a wary cat, avoidance can leave you feeling both close and distant. They may pull away when you approach, then suddenly return to brush against you only to retreat again when you think things are improving. Instead of expressing their emotions verbally, they often rely on actions which can be unpredictable and confusing. Avoidants rarely use words to admit they miss you. Instead, they show it through small, meaningful gestures. They might unexpectedly bring you your favorite snack, offer to fix something for you, or extend a vague invitation to meet. These actions aren't random. They're their way of maintaining a connection without directly confronting their fear of vulnerability. For avoidants, expressing affection through actions feels safer than words. Actions allow them to stay at a comfortable emotional distance while avoiding the feelings they struggle to handle. Even if they say things like, "I'm fine," or "I don't think about the past," their behavior such as offering help or showing care tells a different story. Remember, when avoidants put effort into helping you or spending time with you, it's their way of saying, "I still care." But at the same time, they're trying to maintain control over their emotions. These gestures are not just acts of kindness, but subtle signals that you still hold a special place in their heart. Sign 5. Wanting you back. It might seem surprising, but there's a deeper logic behind why an avoidant ex can feel drawn back to you after a breakup. With time and distance, they begin to idealize you and the relationship, revisiting the beautiful moments you shared. However, alongside this attraction lies a deep-seated fear. Reaching out would mean confronting the intense emotions they've been avoiding. They fear that a conversation could lead to an emotional confession, or worse, rejection if they express their desire to reconnect. Even if they imagine you might agree, the thought of re-entering a relationship stirs anxiety about feeling tied down or losing their freedom. This creates a psychological loop. They want to get closer but fear breaking their emotional defenses. To avoidants, the relationship becomes both alluring and intimidating. This conflict keeps them in a state of idealization rather than decisive action. That's why you may notice mixed signals. They lack the courage to express themselves fully but can't stop thinking about you. Whether an avoidant misses you or wants you back isn't the most important question. The real question is, do you truly want them back? Listen to your heart, but don't forget to use reason to view the relationship clearly. If you believe the relationship deserves another chance, and both of you are willing to face challenges and build mutual understanding, take the leap. But if you realize they're still trapped in fear and unwilling to change, it may be time to prioritize your own love and well-being. Whatever choice you make, remember you're not alone. We're all on a journey to find love, not just from others, but also within ourselves. Thank you for watching this video and feel free to share your story. Let's walk this path together. Don't forget to follow for more meaningful and inspiring content.